Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sam Kwak. Welcome to Wednesday, Hump Day, as we like to call it here in America. This is Sam Kwak here, one of the Kwak Brothers, and welcome to our live Q&A show, specifically on the topic of mortgage acceleration, aka debt-free acceleration. Super happy to be here, guys, and we're gonna be answering lots of different questions today, and love to get into some controversial topics of consolidation loan, and we're gonna talk about all the things that are terrible and awful about consolidation loan and what seems to be predatory. So before we get to that, I want to talk about real quick and give you guys a word from a partner of ours. And I know we've been dealing with some technology issues, so we may not have this, but I'm going to give you guys a quick word from our partners. We just got partnered up with a great software company called PropStream. And if you are into real estate investing, you're looking to get into real estate investing, or you're going to find deals, PropStream is probably one of the best software that I was able to come in contact with that helps with finding off-market deals. So with PropStream, you can do nationwide property search. You can get comps on deals. You can estimate your rehab. So if you're looking to estimate your repairs and what to set for budget, PropStream can definitely help you with that. And they even help you look up owners. Like if you want to find out who the owners are for a certain house, then PropStream can definitely help. So our members, you guys watching this, can get a 7-day free trial of the software absolutely for free for 7 days. All you have to do is go to reisoftware.thekwakbrothers.com. Again, that's reisoftware.thekwakbrothers.com. It's a phenomenal software. Again, we use it to look for our deals. I showed it to Daniel the other day. Daniel was just blown away by the amount of features and the capacity that the software has. So go definitely sign up for 7 days. You guys watching this, our viewers, get 7 days free trial with this software. Okay, so let's go and talk about this controversy of loan consolidation stuff. And just yesterday, the day after Labor Day, I checked my mail, and lo and behold, I had literally stacks of letters and mail from loan consolidation company. Now, I'm not gonna mention any names because I don't wanna call them out, or I don't wanna get too controversial. But one thing that I've noticed is that lots of misleading ads are being sent, and if I'm not the only one that's getting the mail, it's probably lots of people getting the mail, right, to consolidate your loans. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have gotten this type of mail as well. And when I opened it up, and I threw out most of it, but when I opened up a few of the letters that I received from some of these loan consolidation company, well, the advertising makes it sound like you're actually saving money, which you're not. And I'm gonna get to that in just a sec. But with these loan sounds like, is they'll tell you, hey, listen, you got all this, credit card debt that you have. Okay, you got $20,000 or $30,000 credit card, and you're paying this much, and your interest rate is, X. Why not go and save that extra money by consolidating into one loan where you're gonna pay less in terms of interest rate and less in monthly payment? Sounds great on the surface. It really does, right? A lot of you guys are thinking, wow, like what's wrong with that, Sam? Like, I mean, we're saving money on interest, but we're saving money on monthly payments. Well, this is sort of like what the car dealerships like to do to kind of get you in, thinking that you're saving money, which you're not. The reason why you're not saving money with these types of loan consolidation companies or loan consolidation offers is mainly because the consolidated loans, you're sort of refinancing your credit cards into closed-ended amortized loans. And for those who've been following us for a long time, you guys know exactly why I'm not a fan of closed-ended amortized loans, because A, it keeps you on a locked-in schedule where you're sort of forced to pay that, which can be good, because if you're not a disciplinary type, then this might be the solution for you. But the downside is it's an amortized front-loaded interest, meaning you're gonna end up paying lots of money on the front-loaded interest. It's basically like a mini mortgage in a way that you're gonna pay close to double the amount that you naturally would. Now, viewers like you, for those who've been following us for a very long time, very much know why we want to be using lines of credit, because we can take advantage of putting all of our income into a line of credit and then ultimately lowering the average daily balance, which ultimately saves us interest and ultimately saves us time. But with these consolidation loans, yes, they're easier to manage because you're seeing a lower interest rate and you're seeing a lower monthly payment. It's not necessarily saving you money. It's actually gonna cost you more money in the long term, it may save you, quote unquote, on your monthly cash flow, but what you're really doing is you're punting your savings that you're getting to a later date. So you're actually paying more than what it seems like. So I haven't turned my YouTube feed on, so I'm gonna actually turn it on so that, if there's any questions, I can go and answer those questions right off the bat. But if you ever get these loan consolidation sort of letters or advertising over mail, don't fall for it. Be very calculative when it comes to taking up on their offer. Yes, credit card interests tend to be higher, but that's because it's open-ended and it's a revolving credit line, whereas a consolidated loans are installment loans. You have 36 months or 60 months or 72 months to pay them off, but a lot of times you're gonna end up actually paying more interest that way. So let's do it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my channel here. And so whenever you guys get those loan consolidation letters, be wary of what you're getting into. It may not necessarily save you all that money as you think it would. It can actually sometimes cost you more money if you're not careful. And what I would do is take out an Excel calculator, take out a loan calculator, and really figure out how much interest you're paying on the long, in the long standpoint of view, and compare that to the result of using our strategy to pay off your credit cards. So instead of going with the loan consolidation stuff, check out our strategy, how to pay off your credit cards using a line of credit, using the credit card itself as the tool to pay off your credit cards. Okay, so we do have a question from Ajay. Ajay's asking, let's say you are already consolidated, what do you do now? So if you're already on a consolidated plan, and let me backtrack to kind of share my philosophy in this, is that it depends on your long-term financial goals, and it really depends on what you want to do. Some people, they may need consolidated loan plan. They may need that. Some people just don't have the discipline, and it's not a bad thing to lack discipline. It just means that you are disciplined in other things. So if you lack financial discipline, then loan consolidation might be the better plan for you, and actually might be healthier for you for the long term, which keeps you from having more debt. Where the loan consolidation kind of sucks is that you're putting yourself on a plan where it consolidates, it locks you up again, and you're having to pay more interest. So if you are already on a consolidated plan, check out our video, how to pay off your credit cards faster, which we have. You just need to type it up on our YouTube page. In fact, I don't know if Chris is on it, but go and check out the video, how to pay off your credit cards faster. It's going to show you guys how to use a personal line of credit, which actually has a lower interest rate than your credit cards. So if you use a personal line of credit, which is offered by many of the banks that you probably use, it has lower interest rate. Also, it's open-ended, meaning that you can pay it off, reuse it, pay it off, and reuse it. And you can take advantage of our strategy, lowering the average daily balance, saving you money on interest, and also saving your time in paying off your credit card. So if you're gonna go with the loan consolidation loan, mainly because the interest rate's lower, might as well go with the personal line of credit, mainly because it gives you that flexibility, gives you that liquidity, and also you can use our strategy to pay off your credit cards faster, okay? So I hope that helps, and appreciate Chris for putting that on the chat box there. Do consolidation loans hurt your credit score? So consolidation loans can actually help or hurt your credit score, and here's how it helps. When it comes to consolidation loans, when you're consolidating your credit cards or any other loans that you may have, especially true when you have credit cards. So when you go from credit cards into installment loans, what happens is it actually helps you when it comes to your utilization. Now, for those who don't know what utilization is simply the amount of credit that you're given. So let's say you have $10,000 of limit in your credit cards, and if you, let's say, use $3,000 of that $10,000 credit card, that means you have 30% utilization. So the utilization rate applies only to revolving lines of credit. So credit cards, personal line of credit, Heloc, and so on. So when it comes to your credit score, one of the big factors that determines your credit score is your utilization rate. In fact, 30% of your credit score is utilization. So if you max out your credit, this is why it hurts your credit score. It hurts your credit overall because you're tapping too much into your credit. The lower your utilization rate goes down, the better it is for your overall credit, generally speaking. So when you take your credit cards that were factoring into utilization rate and take it out from being revolving and put it into an installment loans don't count towards your utilization rate. So in a way, you're taking, if you have, let's say, $20,000 of credit card debt and you move it into installment, now it seems like you just opened up $20,000 worth of line that's freed up. Your credit actually will improve if you do it that way. Now, where it can hurt you is now you have a new credit, account. So it actually lowers the overall age of your credit. But if you really look at it, the overall age of your credit is a less of a factor than your utilization rate. So your overall age, average age of your credit is about 10% factor into your FICO credit scoring, whereas the utilization rate is a 30%. So you can see here that the utilization rate has 3 times more impact on your credit score than an average age of your credit file. So it might be sacrificing one thing for gain of another. But doing a consolidation loan can help your credit for a short term. Now, of course, this may help you in credit. Again, going back to my earlier conversation, it may actually end up costing you more money in terms of interest. You may have to pay more interest. And that's the only downside when it comes to, or one of the main downsides when it comes to the consolidation loan. Okay. Okay, so Marie Medrano is asking, how about your credit score to get credit line? What score do you have to have? So this is a great lesson in credit in general. I think this is a great segue. So when it comes to your credit score, you do not have a credit score, okay? Your credit has a credit score, right? So if this is, let's say, your math test, I almost said math, your math test, okay? When you get an A on your math test, you don't have an A. Your math test has an A or B or whatever grade that you receive on your test. So when it comes to your credit score doesn't necessarily determine everything when it comes to the approvability as well as the likelihood for you to get approved for such product as a line of credit. Your credit score is an indicator or a predictor of your likelihood of getting in default, meaning you not being able to pay for a loan or any sort of credit card or a credit account. So banks, what they do is credit score almost works like a college entrance exam score. You guys know SAT, ACT. If you guys have kids, you guys will know, or if you have personally taken an exam, such exam, you guys very much know how that works. But when it comes to this credit score doesn't alone approve you for the loan. Okay, credit score alone doesn't alone, okay, it's not the only factor that a bank uses to determine your eligibility for a loan. It gets you into the door, meaning the banks will look at your credit score and say, you know what, this person has a X score, we'll go and further take a look at their file. But if it falls below a certain credit score, they'll say, you know what, we're not gonna even look at that. So it only gets you into the door for you to actually be considered to get a credit account. Now, if you fall below a certain credit score, say 600, and this may depend on which banks you go, the banks may not even look at your file and say, you know what, we're gonna do an automatic decline because we have a set standard as to our bank only looks at anyone with 600 or above. Some banks might be 580 or above. Some banks might be 620 or above, or some banks might even be 680 or above FICO score. And I have to also go back to make sure you guys understand this, that there isn't just one credit score. That's probably the big misconception that we get a lot from even our own students, that there isn't just one credit score. There's actually hundreds of different types of credit scores. There's FICO 5, FICO 8, FICO 9, which is the newer model of the FICO score. There's Vantage 2.0, Vantage 3.0. There's National Equivalency Score. There's a lot of different scores, credit scores, that are out there depending on what type of loan you're trying to get. So when you go apply for a mortgage, there's a different credit score for mortgage. There's a FICO for home score. When you're out there shopping for an auto loan, there's a different credit score just for auto loans. So it's really important to understand that credit score is not the only factor when it comes to determining the eligibility. Credit scores plays a role, but there's other factors such as your financial statement, your income, your outstanding debt obligations, your overall age of file, history, okay? And this is why I like to say no credit is actually worse than having bad credit, okay? Let me repeat that. Having no credit is actually worse than having bad credit. Because when you have bad credit, you at least have some history, you at least have some records, and you're predictable. Because banks love the fact that you're predictable, and that's good for them. Because someone gives them an idea of where to sort of put you in terms of their risk assessment. When you have no credit, they're like, okay, this person is totally blank slate. We don't know how they're gonna move. We don't know how they're gonna behave. We don't know if they're gonna turn out to be a bad borrower or a good borrower. So uncertainty is not a good thing for the banks. Banks love to be in a place where they have data, they have experience, they have records of you, they have history, to where they can predict how you're gonna behave overall as a consumer. So when it comes to credit score, it really doesn't, I shouldn't say matter, but it's just a factor of many hundreds of different things that the banks will look at when it comes to determining your eligibility for a line of credit. Now, if I want to give you more of a quote unquote lazy and simple answer, generally you want to have over 680, or better yet, 700. I'll just make it 700. So anything over 700 you're going to be in the good zone. Some banks may say, well, we want to see 720 or above for you to be prime. Some banks may say, well, you want to see 740 for you to have, to be really close to being in a good, great credit profile. So don't just say, oh my gosh, my credit score. Well, yeah, credit score is important. I won't negate that, but what's even more important is the fact that you have income, that you have history, that you have good debt to income ratio. Those are all factors that probably even matter even more than just your credit score alone. I've seen people get funded or get approved for $1 million loan and they have 640 credit score. Because again, credit score is not the only factor that the banks are going to look at. It may be a factor for you to get in for the banks to look at you, but it's not the only factor, okay? All right, Dragonish is saying hello. Hey to you again. Ajay is asking, you are the best guy. Thanks for the knowledge. Please keep it up. I got to go for now. I'm watching from South Africa. Hey, appreciate you, Ajay, all the way from South Africa. Probably the farthest fan that we have. We really appreciate you, and we'll love for you to continue coming back for our live shows every week. Okay. Christopher Dursano, which he's sitting back over there, is asking, how long does it take to get approved for a consolidation loan? So generally, it may take anywhere between 5 to 10 days. Again, it may depend on the underwriter. So the underwriter may say, you know what, hey, we need more documents from you. We need 3 more years of tax return. Or they may say, we need your financial statement, which we need to see your assets, we need to see your liability. Do you have investments? Do you have assets anywhere else? They may ask you for those documents, which can delay the process even more, a couple more days. And it ultimately depends, right, on where you are financially. If you fit their model of like you are their poster child of perfect borrower, then it may take 5 days. Or if they need more documents from you, it may take 20 days. So it really depends on where you fit in the financial model. Now, this might be a good segue to how do you become a poster boy, how do you become a poster child of the lenders? Like, how do you become a really good borrower, or at least perceived to look like a good borrower in the eyes of the banks? Well, going back to credit, you got to have decent credit. And credit, all credit is your, are there risk from the banks lending money to you? Like, number one, can you pay back, right? Can you pay back the loan? Do you have the ability to, or do you have the track record of paying back? One thing that your credit score doesn't track is your debt to income ratio. Your credit score doesn't factor in your income. Your credit score doesn't factor in your employment status. While that might be in your credit report, it's not a factor. So just keep that in mind. Now, of course, you gotta have income. You gotta have good debt to income ratio. Anything less than 42% will put you in a good position. So when you do your calculation, if you're over 42%, figure out how to pay off your debt. Again, our whole entire YouTube channel is dedicated to helping you become financially free, becoming debt free, and understanding how to pay off your mortgage and your debt faster than ever before. So go and definitely check it out. If you're not a subscriber yet, definitely go and subscribe to our YouTube channel and also hit the bell notification icon so that you get notified on our future videos. So if debt to income ratio is an issue for you, definitely watch our videos, which show you how to pay off a lot of the debts that you may have. So you got your credit, you got your debt to income ratio, your assets. Banks want to see that you are bankable, meaning that you have the ability, in case of a default or in case of a bad scenario, that you have the ability to sell some of your assets to pay them back. Okay, so do you have other real estate? Do you have a 401k? Do you currently have any stock portfolio? Do you have bonds? Do you have any other assets that you can go and back up any sort of loans? So they also factor in your balance sheet, your net worth, okay? Your assets, your liabilities, what your equity position is. Those are some of the things that banks will look at in making sure that you are a good borrower. So if you want to become a poster child of all borrowers of borrowers, you want to be the king of all borrowers, then you got to make sure you maintain these lanes, your credit, you have solid income, you have a good amount of assets, because that's what banks want to see to sort of assess where your risk is, okay? Mary Medrano Durazo is asking, what do you credit loans? I'm not sure what you're asking there. I hope you can rephrase that question. It says, what do you credit loans or what? I think she might be asking, what do I do? So I'm not a bank. I'm not a lender. I don't work for a banking institution. In fact, if I was working for a bank, if I was a loan broker, I would have disclosed that already by now, which I'm not. So I'm a consumer just like you. I'm in the business of helping individuals like you guys and really protecting you guys against the banks and the predatory loans out there and so on. So again, our whole entire YouTube channel is dedicated to helping you, the regular people, not the banks, not the investment bankers, not Wall Street. I'm one of you guys, right? Here to help you guys, and I just took one for the team to learn everything about credit, banking, loans, real estate, and that's what I'm here to help you guys understand and achieve, and be one step ahead of the banks, because a lot of times the banks are not in the best interest of the consumers. They're really after making their money. That's pretty much the story at the end of the day when it comes to the banks. Okay, let's see what else. Questions that we have. Okay, so when it comes to loan consolidation, so I'm going to do a full circle. When it comes to loan consolidation, just be careful. It's and I can make the same argument against Helocs too. As much as I'm a huge fan of Helocs, be careful what you're getting yourself into. This is why we have a program. This is why we created a step-by-step system to help you understand what Helocs do, what sort of dangers you need to be looking out when it comes to using a HELOC, what sort of risk you're taking when you use a HELOC, and we help you mitigate a lot of those risks. It's much like learning how to fly a plane. Like if I gave you a plane, okay, let's say I'm Oprah Winfrey, I gave you a plane as a gift, a private jet, okay, the G550, okay, Gulfstream jet. Let's say give you such a beauty, okay. Is it safe for you to fly it without proper training? Probably not, right? You probably want to go get some lessons, right? You want to get some training, flight training. You want to get licensed, right? Those are some of the things that you want to do so that you don't take off and crash and not die. We don't want you to die. So when you go get an instrument such as, or a tool such as a private jet or an airplane, you want to get lessons. You want to get some training. You want to get supervised help. Well, much like my airplane jet example, which has a lot of risk if you don't fly it with proper training, a HELOC is very much the same. A HELOC can have its destructive ways, it can have its destructive power if you abuse the instrument. But if you use it well, if you use it wisely, if you use it under the premise of being trained and being well educated on how to use it, you can do some really great things. And you could pay off your debt, you can buy some really good income producing asset, you can shelter yourself from possible foreclosures, you could use it as an emergency fund, you can do a lot of great things. So this is why I'm a huge proponent of getting educated, coming back to our YouTube channel and learning more. Not just saying that so that we can get more views, but in all seriousness, you need to get educated. Even if it's not our own YouTube channel, if you go and check out other financial YouTube channel, great. My concern is that you guys get protected, that you don't misuse a lot of these financial tools and instruments that are out there, and that you are properly prepared for what could get wrong so that you can correct and fix if things go wrong, okay? So I hope that sort of answers your question when it comes to that. Okay, so Dragonish is asking, you missed my question right before Mary Medrano. Okay, let's see. I don't think I see a question there, Dragonish. If you can, go and type it again. One thing that our YouTube channel does, it blocks any links. It blocks any spammy words, any cuss words. So if you added any of that, chances are YouTube probably blocked it. So when you ask me a question or ask any of us a question here at the Kwak Brothers, be sure to take out any links because YouTube automatically detects that and it may think that you're spamming. So just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Okay. Before we get to the next question, I want to first talk about our upcoming event that's coming out, which is the Market Domination Mastermind event in Dallas, Texas on October 4th and 5th. So if you are looking for some really great training, if you want to have some one-on-one time with me or Daniel, you want to hug me, kiss me, whatever you want to do, probably not kiss me, but hug me, because my wife would not be happy. If you want to come and hang out with us, that's what I'm trying to say. On October 4th and 5th, we're going to open our doors to you guys, open wide. Come to Dallas, Texas, and hang out with us, get trained by us. We're going to do a never-done training called the 4 Strategy. Find a deal, owner finance it, raise capital, cash flow, expand your financial freedom. We're going to cover a never-done strategy in Dallas, Texas, October 4th and 5th. Grab your ticket today, guys. Come hang out with us. Come meet us. Shake our hands. Ask us questions. We're going to actually open up an entire evening where all you do is just ask questions and us answering questions. So that's, again, October 4th and 5th down in Dallas, Texas. It's going to happen in Hilton near Galleria. And you guys can get your tickets at marketdominationmastermind.com. Again, the link is marketdominationmastermind.com. We're going to have some great expert speakers such as Bryce McKinley, Nadine Mazzarelli, Jerome Maldonado, Dream, which is Eric Thomas's right hand. If you know who Eric Thomas is, you'll probably love this event because there's going to be lots of heat, lots of energy. So come join us October 4th and 5th. The link again is marketdominationmastermind.com. Go grab your tickets today. In fact, one of our sponsors have been very, very generous. They are giving away 300 complimentary vacations. So if you come and attend the event, we're actually going to be giving away 300 complimentary vacations to you guys. The only catch is that you have to pay the taxes on these, which comes down to like $250, which is a steal. If you want to go on a 8-day, 7-night vacation for only $250, guys, this is the event to come. Check it out. Of course, you have to be there to redeem this amazing, amazing opportunity from one of our sponsors. So definitely be there October 4th and 5th, 2019, down in Dallas, Texas. Join us. Come meet with me. You'll notice that I'm actually a lot better looking off camera than I am on camera. So you want to be there for that event. Okay, so continuing on our YouTube Q&A when it comes to loan consolidation, the scams that are out there. Be very careful when doing anything. And again, going back to the education part, get knowledge, get training. All those are important things. Okay, so Maria Bedrano is asking, how do I learn or get training and get educated? Well, what a phenomenal question that is, Marie. So I don't know, Chris, if you can put this in there on our chat box. Go to debtfreeaccelerator.com. Again, that's debtfreeaccelerator.com, where you can get, excuse me, I got the link wrong. It's debtacceleration.com, I believe. Let me just tell, it is Debt Free Accelerator. I apologize. Wednesday mess ups. Debtfreeaccelerator.com. If you go there, you'll get access to our calculator. You'll get access to our free 1-hour training on how to use the Heloc to pay off your mortgage, to pay off your credit cards, to pay off your auto loans. Lots of great things. So go and definitely check it out. Debtfreeaccelerator.com, where you'll get some free training there. Okay. Dragonish, I'm not sure if I see your question, so go ahead and punch in your question. We'd love to answer your question for whatever you have. Okay. All right, so upcoming videos that we just released yesterday is how to pay your kids and get a write-off. So if you have any kids, we just released that video yesterday on how to pay your kids and get a tax benefit by doing so. Definitely go and check it out. We're actually going to be starting a new video series starting tomorrow. We're going to be talking about how to build business credit. So a lot of people don't know this idea that you can actually build business credit that's separate from your personal credit. So if your personal credit is squat, like it's not going up anytime soon, if your personal credit is in the toilets, then you can actually build business credit. If you actually, of course, if you actually have a business or if your intent is to actually start a business, you can do this. You cannot have a phony business or cannot have a fake business to do this. You have to have a legitimate business. But if you want to start a business or you already have a separate business, you can actually build a separate business credit that is completely separate from your personal credit. So you can have like a really stinky personal credit, but you can have a really, really great business credit and you can do lots of great things with that. So we're gonna start a completely new video topic for the next 4 videos. So starting tomorrow, Thursday, and then next Tuesday, we're gonna start releasing video topics about business credit, how to build business credit effectively, what you can do with business credit. Can you buy real estate with business credit? Yes, you can. What you can do with that. So starting tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, we're gonna be releasing some amazing videos about how to build business credit. We're gonna have a guest expert to come and speak to us about building business credit. It's gonna be a great video series, so don't wanna miss it. This is why you should probably subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so that you get notified on our future videos starting tomorrow. All right? Okay, so as you guys know, we are taking live questions right here in the YouTube channel, and we're gonna be answering them as we get the questions. Okay? Thank you, Chris and Dave, for doing that. I just see I see the comment. So there we go. Yeah, if you guys have any direct questions to me off chat, like if it's private or you feel like it's sensitive, you don't want to share it on the public forum, then definitely send us an email, info@thekwakbrothers.com, info@thekwakbrothers.com. If you guys want to get access to my Facebook or you want a direct channel with me, you'll want to sign up for our programs. Again, that's debtfreeaccelerator.com. Okay. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we're halfway through there, and appreciate you guys for sticking around, and you guys are amazing. I appreciate all of you guys, and I really appreciate the support that you guys give us every single week, week in, week out. We really can't do our live shows without your help and without your participation. Zamora is asking, how about velocity banking to build business credit and help you get out of personal debt? Are you guys going to teach that? Yeah, so there's a... So I might actually go spawn off into a whole different topic with that. So when it comes to debt-free acceleration, so we here in the Kwak Brothers don't call velocity banking. We call it debt-free acceleration. I just think it's better that way. Debt-free acceleration strategy, that's what we call it. When it comes to debt-free acceleration and building business credit, there could be some segues there. If you're looking to pay off your personal credit or personal loans using business credit, I'm not a tax professional, nor am I a legal professional, so you may want to consult with your legal consultant on this one. But there's an issue when it comes to using your business funds and commingling with your personal funds. So what I mean by that is if you want to protect the integrity of your business and your books and your accounting, chances are you may not want to commingle any sort of funds back and forth between your business and your personal, meaning you want to draw a line between what is specifically for business use, like business funds and business money, business accounting, and what is personal funds and personal accounting and personal use. So when you start to take that line out and you commingle funds, meaning you're using business credit card to go shop for your new Prada or Coach bag, might not be the best thing. Vice versa, when you use your personal funds to do business stuff, may not be the best thing to again, protect the integrity of your business and in the exclusivity of your business accounting and business fund. So when it comes to using business credit to pay off your personal credit, there might be ways which in fact we do have a program that teach that, but it can get complicated. There's a gray line when it comes to using business credit to pay off your personal credit. Again, if you want to protect your integrity, there's a way to kind of protect your business and your personal in doing so. But I mean, that's a whole different topic for another day. But there is a way to do it. I'll just put it that way. There's a way to do it, but there's a specific way to go about it in ways that it still protects the integrity of your business. It keeps you away from commingling. And at the same time, it's an effective way to pay off your personal loan, personal debt, and transferring it over to your business debt. Okay. Okay, Chris is saying just smash that like button. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Okay. Dennis is asking, is there a way to consolidate my debt without putting up an asset? Yeah, so there are plenty of unsecured loans that are out there. Unsecured meaning that you don't have to pledge any asset, you don't have to securitize or put anything in collateral. So there are unsecured loans, such as you can get unsecured credit cards, which most credit card are unsecured lines of credit, and you can get unsecured loans that are, you're not using any collateral. Now, of course, unsecured credit or unsecured debt tend to have higher interest rates, and they are limited as far as the amount that you can get. So, it's very unlikely that you can get a large sum of unsecured loan for the purpose of real estate, because it's a large amount tends to get risky, especially in the eyes of the bank. If you're not pledging a collateral, or if they're not secured by some sort of an asset, obviously the risk goes up through the roof. So is it possible to get unsecured loans that are not collateralized by any security or asset? Yes, but it's going to be a smaller amount, probably less than $50,000 if you're doing it for business purposes, or $25,000 or less for personal purposes. So it's gonna be a smaller amount. You're not gonna get $1 million unsecured loan, not at least for the average people. Now, of course, if you're Coca-Cola or Pepsi, you can probably get $1 million unsecured loan, but for us average normal people, not likely, unless you have a business that's established for a long time. You have you have proven track record, you got income, you got really great tax returns, and chances are you can, but not for the average people that are just getting started. Okay. All right. Wow, so great questions, guys. Appreciate you asking questions. It keeps the show going. So when it comes to going back to consolidated loans and consolidated debt, just be careful what you end up getting yourself into, because a lot of these consolidated loans, they may tell you, oh, you're gonna save money on the monthly payments, you're gonna save money on interest. Okay, but you're really not, because you're going from open-ended interest, open-ended revolving line of credit, which you can take advantage of our strategy to pay off your loan, to pay off your debt, into a closed-ended loan, which you really have, you're sort of tying your hands together, and you really don't have any other option than just pay that loan, which again may be a good thing if you don't have that financial discipline. But if you want to go beyond what the loan consolidation option has to offer, then you want to go with our strategy to help you pay off your loan faster, your credit cards faster, saving you money overall. Jesus Zamora is asking, where do I get your book? So if you're wondering, where do you get this amazing book, probably the best book after the Bible, is you can go to 0to75units.com and sign up for a free book. You just need to pay for shipping. That's all you need to do. This book is given away for free. Just pay for shipping. Go to 0to75units.com. Again, that's 0to75units.com. Get our free book. I mean, I may have a little bit of bias towards this book because, obviously we wrote it. But all I have to say, it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's the best thing since the all 66 books in the Bible. So you definitely want to grab this book. Better than 50 Shades of Grey. Better than the Twilight books. Better than all the Harry Potter series combined. Better than most of what you guys probably read. Better than Think and Grow Rich. Okay, I might be saying too much there, but go get the book. 0to75units.com. Free book. Just pay for the shipping, and you'll get your book less than 7 to 10 days. Okay. All right. All right, so moving forward, as far as the Heloc videos and Heloc strategy, any other updates will definitely get you guys, create videos. We're actually going to get a banker to fly in to our studio and film a video series on the Heloc strategy. There's going to be a lot more videos about that very soon. So if If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. So we're looking for more questions. If you guys have any more questions, we'll definitely answer. I still have not gotten a question from Dragon X-ish, Cross-ish. So if you have any question, please go ahead and comment down below. Let's see what else. Okay. So I'm actually going to next week bring in the letter that I got from the loan consolidation company. I should have brought in this today. I totally forgot it and left it at home. But I'll bring the letter in so that I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll break down the advertising piece, the advertising letter that I got from this loan consolidation company. And I'll tell you where it's misleading you guys, where it may sound great, but it's really not. And I'm also going to break down like the truth about the loan consolidation company. I'm going to expose them and make sure you guys understand why loan consolidation companies have its evil side, the dark side, and why it's got its light side, why it can be a good thing for you guys and your credit. So we'll talk about all those things. So guys, I don't see another question. We may actually end this a little earlier than expected. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to direct them right below. If you guys are watching the replay of this video, you guys can go and leave the questions down below in the comment section. I and myself and the other team here in the Kwak Brothers do definitely check our YouTube comment feed every day. And in fact, there are days where I'm up all night just reading questions and reading through comments and answering them. So definitely go and leave the comments down below. It really, really does count. We'll answer pretty much almost all, unless it's a silly or goofy question. Okay, Quentin Mason is asking, I'm looking to do the house hacking strategy. I need to know the steps to take. I have a 700 credit score. So when it comes to house hacking, and for those who don't know what a house hacking strategy is, house hacking strategy is essentially buying a 2 units or more, preferably anywhere between 2 to 4 unit apartment building, and you living in one of the units and renting out the other 3 or 2 units, so that you're essentially getting paid to live at your own apartment. So let's say I went and bought a 4 unit apartment building. I choose to live in one of the apartments, and the 3 other units I rented out to tenants. So the rent that I'm collecting from the tenants is essentially paying for my mortgage, paying for any financing payments, paying for my taxes, paying for the insurance. So it's a great way to sort of offset some of the expenses that I have with my housing. Now, when it comes to house hacking, there's a pro and con, and I'll get to the financing aspect in just a second. But when it comes to the pro, it's financially beneficial, right? You're not having to pay as much expenses. You're sort of essentially self-liquidating the cost of you living in that in the apartment. Another thing is that, of course, it pays for your taxes, it pays for your insurance. You're building some relationship with neighbors. It gives you that sense of community with people that you're living with. So it could be a good thing, maybe a bad thing if you don't like people. But the con is obviously you lose level of privacy. You got noise issues, happens all the time. And you may have to share a lot of the amenities with the other people. So that's some of the cons, the downside of house hacking. Now, as far as financing house hacking, it essentially works the same way as buying a single family house, except you're buying a 2 unit or a 3 unit or a 4 unit. The beneficial thing, and depends on the banks, depending on which banks you go to, is the banks may actually count each of the other 3 units and consider as, and adds that into your income when calculating your debt to income ratio. So if you're looking to buy let's say a 4 unit apartment building and you're planning on living in it, they'll take the other 3 unit and take the fair market rent of those 3 units and add it onto your debt to income ratio, so that it actually ends up being favorable to your debt to income ratio. So it gives you an edge in that aspect of going through the underwriting process of getting a loan for a 2 to 4 unit. Now, of course, here in the Kwak Brothers, Daniel and I are a huge proponent of owner financing, so that you don't have to go through a bank, you don't have to have your credit score checked, you don't have to get you don't have to turn in your debt, your tax returns to go through the underwriting process. In fact, I bought my own house, my single family house that I live in currently. I bought that house using owner financing. So I didn't have to go through a bank. I didn't have to go and turn in my tax returns. I didn't have to get my credit checked. And we actually ended up closing in just 1 week. So I submitted an offer. 3 days later, we had a contract. and 4 days later we closed. So it was one of the fastest closing that I've done in my real estate investing career. And that's probably the better way if you want to shelter yourself from ever having to use your credit or having to go deal with a bank or ever having to face the possibility of, if you do get into a foreclosure or default, that it will appear on your credit report and it will destroy your credit. So it may actually be a good thing just to go straight into owner financing instead of having to deal with the bank and getting a loan for your 2 to 4 unit purchase in order for you to start house hacking. Okay. Let's see. Dennis is asking, I'm looking for a bank that would do a HELOC on a rental property. In fact, pretty much all banks will do a HELOC on a rental property. At the same time, pretty much all banks don't want to do HELOCs on a rental property, mainly because rental properties are a huge risk in the eyes of the bank. I mean, just look at what happened in 2008. They don't want to repeat that mistake. So banks don't like giving out HELOCs to on a rental property, especially if you don't have any other asset, especially if you don't have a lot of experience, especially if you don't have a lot of proof that you are a stable borrower. So almost all banks will do HELOCs on rental properties. They're just not going to do it on someone who's not as experienced or they don't have assets to sort of make yourself a stable borrower. Now, there are banks that are more inclined to give HELOCs to a rental property. I'll give you one example, is PenFed. It's a credit union that does give HELOCs out to rental property. But of course, in order to join PenFed, you got to be a military member or a service member or a veteran or a DoD, Department of Defense contractor. So there are banks that will be more so open to giving HELOCs to rental property. For that, of course, you have to join our program. We have a special list, a recommendation that we give out to our students that are part of our program. So can you get a HELOC for a rental property? Yes, you can. You just gotta have a really good financials and also experience and track record to do so. Okay. Dragonish is asking, we have a $10,000 car loan, should pay off with our $50,000 HELOC before we start your program. When we purchase your program, will we get to talk to you or your staff and see where we should start? Yes, so when you join our program, you'll talk to our amazing people, including a banker. You'll also talk to our vice president, Joel, who will help you get you through that step. Now, in most cases, you don't need to talk to us because the program sort of speaks for itself. It takes you from step-by-step process, but if you really, really need that extra hand-holding, we do have options where you can get that one-on-one help and get us on a phone. And my advice to you is you shouldn't be doing anything before you actually start the program. It's kind of like jumping into an airplane and saying, you know what, before I go and get my my pilot license, I'm just gonna try to take off with my airplane, and I'm just gonna do that. Probably not, okay? You shouldn't be doing that, right? You shouldn't be getting on the plane, getting in the cockpit in the first place without even without getting your first day in your pilot school, right? You shouldn't be even touching the steering controls before you get into some sort of training. So before you go and do anything, before you make any sort of decision to do whatever you need to do with the HELOC, just take my word for it, get your training, get your program, get your education before you actually go and do it, because we don't want you to make these fatal mistakes without that knowledge and the training and the education, because once you make those mistakes, there's no undo button. There's no, hey, can we fix this? No, once you made that decision, you made that decision. It's more expensive. It's more expensive to fix these mistakes than to do it the right way the first time and paying for some of the education and knowledge along the way. So when I tell you guys to get our education, it's not because we get paid to do it, but it's more so it's gonna cost you more if you make the wrong move. It's gonna cost you more to make those mistakes and then ultimately having to pay again to fix those mistakes to come back to where you were in default state. So that's just my advice for you guys, okay? So in our program, we're gonna actually teach you what to pay off first. We're gonna teach you which loan is taking away your cash flow, which debt is costing you more money overall. We're gonna teach you all those things. So hang tight, get educated, get some knowledge before you take your first leap, because once you take that leap without a parachute, there's no going back, okay? All right, C-Tech is asking, if you have $60,000 in personal funds that you want to use to start up your real estate business, to build business credit, is it a good strategy to put the funds into a CD and get a Heloc or get a line of credit? So there's actually a way of you not having to get a certificate of deposit or any of the collateral. There is a way to build your business credit in a way that doesn't require personal guarantee, doesn't require you having to use your own social security number. There is a way of building business credit organically that uses business EIN, okay, employer identification number, and uses what's called a DUNS number, Dun and Bradstreet number. You can build business credit organically without you having to go through anything when it comes to your personal credit. Now, if you have good personal credit, this can be helpful. You can actually make that process faster. But even if you have trashy credit and your credit is down the toilet, you can still use the methods that we're going to teach you guys in the next few videos to build business credit organically without ever having to touch your personal funds or your personal credit side. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Dennis is asking, I'm looking for properties in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't know if we have any properties in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't know how much I can help you with that, Dennis, but I don't know. If you join our network, you might find people that are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin that can probably help you out. Okay. All right, 11:52, folks. I don't see any other question below. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show for today. I appreciate all of you guys for jumping on board. Tomorrow, Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, we're going to release our video series on building business credit. In fact, the next 4 videos is going to be all about business credit. So definitely come and tune in. If you haven't subscribed already, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as hit the bell icon so that you get notified in our future videos. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Daniel will be back here next Monday, and we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.